Coming this September, starring great weather, spectacular landscapes, and possibly you. Summer in the NT. Why wait till December? Summer starts early in the Northern Territory. Seek an early summer holiday in the NT. Different in every sense.
Hello and welcome to Darwin for night 3 of the 2022 NBL Blitz as we gear up for another big doubleheader of pre-season NBL hoops. Later, we'll see Illawarra take on Melbourne, but up first, it's the moment we've all been waiting for as Aaron Baines makes his long-awaited return to basketball as Brisbane battle New Zealand. Good evening, Liam Santamaria on deck alongside NBL champion Damon Lowry. Welcome, mate.
Liam, my man, good to see you. Good to be here. Good to talk hoops once again.
Well, the Brisbane Bullets. Let's start with the Bullets because they have been major players over the course of the off-season. They went bang, bang in the space of about a week, Damon, bringing in two massive names. And the biggest is Aaron Baines, the 9-year NBA veteran. That's Tyler Johnson. We're going to get to Tyler Johnson in just a hot little minute. But first, let's talk Aaron Baines coming off what was an horrendous incident at the 2021 Olympics. A long time out of the game, but he's back and he's playing for the Bullets.
Literally the biggest update for the Bullets. Big Baines, he's back home. What I like about him is he's bringing back all of his NBA experience. Obviously, he had that injury, but I don't even like to even think about that much. That was a one-off kind of thing. His NBA career, in my opinion, has been stellar. Mm-hmm. He's a champion. He's been coached by one of the greatest, if not the greatest, running around. And he's now bringing back all that locker room experience, all that little cagey veteran play that is going to really help Brisbane, I think, take that step further than what they did last year.
He's going to be massive for them. And the other key guy, the big name they dropped about just a couple of days later, was Tyler Johnson, 8-year NBA veteran. Of course, spent time with Miami, Phoenix, Brooklyn, and in recent times Philadelphia and San Antonio. What are you expecting from him this season, but also right out of the gate here at the Blitz?
I'm shocked he's even here. Like, he's an NBA dude. He is a professional scorer. It don't matter which team he's in, no matter which country he's in, he knows how to put the ball in the hole. So he's going to be Tyler Johnson. He's just going to come out here and just get buckets. He's obviously has to fit his style in with the rest of the guys, but for the most part, he's going to be leading from the front.
And on the other end, the New Zealand Breakers looking forward to much more of a normal season in NBL 23. Two really tough, grueling campaigns over the last couple of seasons during the pandemic. New look lineup, a new coach at the helm, new prospects for the upcoming season.
Yeah, new coach, but same coach, same staff. Modi was there last year, so obviously they know what this guy is about. Having home games, having a regular season, being able to eat at home, sleep in your own bed, all that normal stuff that everybody else probably took for granted, they now get to do. And looking forward to them, how they jump out of the gates this year. Wholesale
changes across the lineup for the Breakers. Here are the starters for both of these teams. Gorjak Gak, Devondrick Walker, Tyler Johnson, Aaron Baines, and Tanner Krebs. No Nathan Sobey in that starting lineup. I was told he would be playing, but on a minute's restriction. And then for the Breakers, and they jumped off the screen there, but Abercrombie, of course, the veteran that we're used to seeing, he's going to be out there in that starting group.
These minutes restrictions, let me just say right now, I'm not a fan of regular season minute restrictions, Liam. But preseason, I'll give you a pass. Guys don't want to be playing 35 of these minutes. They just want to come out there, blow some cobwebs out, get themselves loose, get a bit of a sweat up, and go sit down.
And Tyrell Harrison, that man on your screen right there, he's sitting out with an ongoing elbow complaint. The starters for the Breakers, Liafa, Barry Brown Jr., Tom Abercrombie, Jarrell Brantley, and Derek Pardon. They're three new imports all out there to begin this game. Will McDowell-White sitting this one out with knee soreness.
Hate to see Will already injured. I hope there's nothing too serious because I'm looking for a real big year out of him. Imports, we'll see how they go. Obviously, they can all play in their own right, but now it's all about gelling. Can they coexist?
Well, this is a big moment. You see Aaron Baines there in the middle of that huddle. James Duncan giving his last-minute instructions to the squad, but excited to see the big banger make his debut for the Boom. Well, his preseason debut for the Bullets in this one. I saw him in Las Vegas when he made his kind of triumphant return essentially to the public domain on the basketball floor and made it known he's back and he's ready to step his way back into pro hoops. Didn't get the NBA deal, but fortunately for everyone here watching the NBL this season, he's going to be in uniform. We're going to get a taste of it tonight.
Yeah, not the break that he wanted. I'm sure he'd rather be in the big show, but he's going to come here and bring all of his tools to the league. I'm interested to see how the referee's going to ref this guy. Because, Baines is going to hit some people. People will be falling down all around him, and I just want to see if the refs are going to, let some stuff go or get real tight. Kind of like when Bogut came back. To see what the foul counts like.
Fascinating starting lineup that James Duncan's thrown out there. Now, the teams will mix it around during the preseason and look at some different guys, but Gorjak Gak out there to begin this one. No, Harry Frolling's not getting a look there in that front court. DJ Mitchell, two guys who have been doing tremendous things in the NBL 1. Gorjak Gak, he's going to get that opportunity. He spent 4 years at Florida, 1 year at Cal Baptist, and then his first pro season last year in the Czech Republic.
Yeah, we're going to see what he's going to do. James Duncan obviously has multiple options, and they probably all just put their hands in and went rock, paper, scissors who's going to start. Because I don't think there's any real wrong answers in this group. He's a legitimate 8 deep. So be interesting to see him how he juggles these lineups.
Of course, the other man we're going to get a look at tonight, not in the starting lineup, but coming in off the bench, Rayan Rupert, the French next star for the New Zealand Breakers, of course, following in the footsteps of his countryman Usman Dieng last season, a lottery pick in this year's NBA draft. And Rupert, he's fun. He's
he's got all the tools. I'm sure he'll have his ups and downs, kind of like Usman did last year, but for the most part, he's going to be a highlight package and a very likely NBA player next year.
Very likely. Come on, look at it. He has a big, bright future ahead, and we're underway in Darwin, and the New Zealand Breakers are going to take it away. Now, just working through some audio issues, some teething problems there. Let's get the noise from the arena through you soon. But in the meantime, the Breakers in control on their first possession, getting it through hands. Here's Isaiah Liapa. Kicks it out. Jarrell Brantley spinning in the lane, and he comes up short. Tanner Krebs takes it away.
Interesting to see what the teams run. You don't always want to show everybody what you're doing early, but I'm still interested to see what sets everybody's doing, just to kind of get a feel for it.
There's another. There's a big screen from Baines on Brisbane's opening possession. Ball finds Devondrick Walker. He can't hit. Gorjak Gak wins it back, and he finishes over the top, and Tom Abercrombie.
Bainesy's already got one. Bainesy's got one already. He gave him a little clip, an incidental clip, and Tommy might be concussed.
Oh, that's not the case. Is it a contact lens issue? Did he knock the contact lenses out?
Maybe he knocked some sense into him. Don't know. But you're going to have to be, your head's going to have to be on a swivel when Baines is around.
Some extended pressure from Brisbane. Johnson up the floor. Tanner Krebs guarding Liapa. Tanner Krebs is in for a big season this year off the back of tremendous play for Gold Coast in the NBL 1 North. Here's Liapa. Kicks it. Barry Brown Jr. Pull up mid-range. That comes off, and Bainesy pulls down the board.
I like Tanner's game. He's like a 1-2-3, and I mean, well, not a 1, but you know what I mean. He can play on that perimeter. He can guard multiple positions on that perimeter. Easy, big fella.
That's a heads-up play there. Bainesy said, come on, mate. Don't crawl in. I got you. And picks up the early personal there, Derek Pardon, as the two centers get acquainted down low. Here's Krebs trying to inbounds. Tyler Johnson now, guarded by Barry Brown. Kicks it to Devondrick Walker, and he's called for the travel. Michael Allen and the refs red hot on the travels in the Blitz.
Oh, Mickey Allen ain't going for that little shuffling of the feet. Preseason stuff, you know, sometimes you go, oh, I don't want to let that travel slide. But nope, they set the tone early.
So Abercrombie checked out after that incident in that opening New Zealand defensive possession, and Rayan repairs in the game. There's Brown. He draws the foul. And he's to the free throw line.
We got a lot of guards, new guards in the league this year, and obviously this league is a pick and roll league. And we're going to see a lot of guys getting downhill, making plays, making things happen. And if you can't if you can't be efficient in the pick and roll, you're probably not going to end up getting too many jobs, I don't think, as a guard.
At both ends of the floor. You talk about what the guards might be able to create offensively off the ball screen, but how can you defend it? And on the flip side is the bigs. What can you get as a picker and a roller to the rim? And defensively, what kind of coverages can you execute? Which a big element of today's game is we're all tied up. Minute and change into the opening quarter. The first of your Sunday evening doubleheader, Melbourne and Illawarra to come later tonight. Again, we're trying to get the atmos through from the stadium through to you as quick as possible. In the meantime, we're going to have to hold it down.
I'm hoping for some Walker highlights. I've seen some NBL one. Oh, Bainsey for 3.
Okay, I'm told it's just us, Damon, that's not getting the atmos. So everyone at home enjoying all the sights and sounds of the Darwin Entertainment Centre.
You just got to create your own atmosphere, man.
Here's Brantley on the attack. Off his own foot, and Brisbane get the stop. Here comes Tyler Johnson and Devondrick Walker getting involved. Down low to Gak. Here's Johnson. Finds Gak down low. Finds Big Banger, and he finishes and one down low, and he's happy about it.
Is Bainsey just happy to be playing basketball again? Just the joy. I'm watching little things he do, Liam. Just on the last defensive possession, he comes over to help. It wasn't really needed, but he just wants to be involved in anything that might be a collision. He wants in. And then just on that play there, ball goes into Gak. He just gets his nice little position inside, and then he finishes. You're not going to take the ball off of him. You're probably not going to ever block a shot. He's just going to be efficient down there. This is good stuff already out of Bainsey.
He's going to have a monstrous season, and it's a game changer for the Brisbane Bullets this year. And we're loving what we're seeing here in the early going. 5-2 Brisbane. Pull up from Brown off the front of the rim, and Brisbane in transition again. There's Walker working on Rupert, finds Johnson in the corner, and that comes off the rim.
Johnson wants a goaltender, but it don't happen over here.
There's Rupert. Liafa, step back. That's off the back of the rim, and New Zealand get it back. Liafa dancing on the center line. And control it through Pardon. A little mishandle here. Pardon from the mid-range, and that's no good.
A homecoming for Liafa. What do you think you're going to get out of him this year now that he's back at home?
Well, what did you make of him last season?
I thought he was solid. He showed me more than what I thought he had. Like, he can score, he can defend.
Yep.
Can play some backup point for you. He's obviously out here starting to point now today. But, yeah, I think he's got a lot of confidence, and now he comes here with probably a different role. He'll probably have a little bit more impact than what he had with the Phoenix. So, yeah, I'm expecting him to work out pretty well.
Strong offensive board there from Gak. Gets himself to the free throw line. No, I hear you. I mean, certainly defensively, he get things done. Timeout called. 5-2 to the Bullets in the early going. And, yeah, I think for the Phoenix, the issue with Liafa at times was some shot selection. Like he's a really confident young man and, letting it fly in big moments. He has the potential, though, with that kind of makeup and his skill set to become a big shot maker as he progresses through his career. And Murdy Mayor is excited about what he's going to bring for this Breakers team this season.
You can always reel a guy in more than you can get a guy to step it up, I think. So, okay, Isaiah, he does have the heat check in him sometime when it's maybe not warranted, but he showed he's capable of getting hot. So it's just a matter of decision making, when to do it, when not to do it. But yeah, I like this change of scenery for him.
What do we make of Bainsey in those first 3.5 minutes? The finish down low, some bone-shattering screens in the early going, and he had a look from long range from the corner that Gak cleaned up.
And you know what? This has just been a perfect start, in my opinion. Like I say, it's good to see him on the floor. He's obviously happy to be playing. And we all know he's got a three-point shot now. He developed that while he was in the league. So he can be a pick and pop guy, pick and roll guy. Any kind of two-man game you want to play with him. He's got lefty hooks, righty hooks in the post. He's going to be a major problem.
He sure is. Well, he's Gak. The free throw line. Taking advantage of his start. Brisbane's opener at the Blitz. As I mentioned, Melbourne and Illawarra in the second leg. Couple of squads, Damon. Big changes over the course of the off-season.
Yeah, I can't wait to talk about the United. Can't wait to talk about my old Hawks. Moves were made in the off-season. Coaching changes. A lot going on with both of those teams.
Devondrick Walker flew in there for the offensive rebound. Gets himself to the free throw line. What a great story Devondrick Walker is. Getting this NBL contract, of course, originally signed with the Perth Wildcats a few years back. They wanted him to be alongside his great mate Bryce Cotton. Got hurt. Didn't happen. Eventually landed back in the NBL with the Southeast Melbourne Phoenix. And then during the offseason, Damon absolutely tore it up in the NBL 1 West. MVP, Grand Final MVP, and here he is on a roster.
This is what's good about having the three import rule. And good on coaches for looking in the NBL 1. Because back in the day, Liam, back when I was in those streets, NBL coaches would label you as a NBL 1 player, or Siebel as it called back then. But it is some legitimate NBL talent that's playing in NBL 1 as the runner goes in. So, I'm glad he got a look because the guy can obviously play.
That was nice from Rayon Repair. Down the other end, here's Baines, finds Gak. Beautiful execution from the Bullets.
The big pass and Bainesy assist.
Here's Liafa probing. Rob Lowe checked in. Vidanovic also checked in for the Breakers. Liafa can't hit, and Vidanovic, that's big, strong work on the offensive glass.
And you need those kind of guys that get you those effort plays, get you those effort buckets. You don't have to run plays for Vidanovic. He's always going to be 100% active. Hard to keep a guy like that off the glass.
Savvy pickup from the Breakers over the offseason. Murdy Mayor, when he got the job to slide over into the big chairs, I want to reconnect with our Kiwi roots as the New Zealand Breakers. We're going home. We're going to play a full slate of home games. He brings in Liafa. He brings in Vidanovic. Some guys that have homegrown talents pulling on the Breakers jersey this season.
Nothing like a homecoming, and Vidanovic was not a passenger on that championship team. He was a major contributor, so he's bringing some championship experience to the group as well.
Well drawn there by Walker.
See JC5 is checked in along with Big Harry Frawley. DJ Mitchell.
Son of a gun. DJ Mitchell. Talk to me about the old man, Mike Mitchell. You remember what he was getting done?
I do remember Mike. I wasn't in the league at the time, but I remember watching him, and he played upstairs. He was a man among boys, too.
And there's Cody Statman as well, checked in for the Bullets. Exciting young rookie. Spent, of course, 4 years at the University of Virginia as NCAA champion.
Yep, picked up some hardware. Queensland kid. Can shoot it. Got some good length about him.
There is Rayon Repair. Vidanovic. All moving around the perimeter for the Breakers. Repair kicks to the corner. Oh, he turned down a good look. Vidanovic gets a little closer for the bucket.
I like the ball moving up screens on both sides. Guys attacking the rack. Guys making the extra pass. That's what you want in the preseason. Because you're not going to show teams all your stuff. But you still want to have good action and at least execute that, whether the shot goes in or not. As DJ hits his shot, coaches want to at least see that.
DJ Mitchell, he's showed a bit in the NBL 1 North this season. He's been a good pickup by Sam McKinnon and the Bullets in the off-season. It's Repair. Oh, the 1-foot runner. Goodness me, and he draws the contact. He's going to the free throw line.
Do you know how hard it is to guard people that will shoot anything? I mean,
do you know how hard it is to coach people
to shoot anything? Yeah, so you're shooting an elbow runner, but he's got a soft touch, you can tell.
That was audacious. Repair gets himself to the stripe. He's in for a big season. Look at the length, Damon. He's 6'7", nearly 6'8", they tell me, from the Breakers camp right now. 7'3" wingspan, and he's a defensive menace.
That's nuts. Yeah, with that kind of length, guys like that who can tie their shoes without even bending over, guys like that is trouble. Look at now, he's on Kadee. He can switch on to almost every position. It's just going to be a major problem.
Here's Harry Froling back with Brisbane after a season in Illawarra, and he turns that one over. Vidanovic on the push.
Harry had his moments last year with the Hawks, so we see what his headspace is like this year. He's back home, so we'll see how he goes.
3-point hit from Vidanovic, bringing to the Breakers what he gave the Kings last season. Timeout Brisbane.
What are coaches talking about early stages, 5 minutes in? You want to get your subs in. You want to give everybody a run. I mean, you might want to have, and don't quote me because I never coached at that level, but you're going to have a few things. I need to at least see this. I'm going to need to see some effort. I'm going to need to see some offensive execution. I don't want to see a bunch of turnovers neither. Other than that, let's just not play too crazy. We all know it's preseason. You don't really get anything for this. And obviously you don't want anybody getting hurt.
I don't think James Duncan's been anywhere near that friendly in that huddle right now. It is all about the defense for James Duncan and the Bullets this season. Spoke to me about it on the huddle recently, and he said the word defense about 700 times in our 25-minute chat. And I think a big part of that, of course, is always how you execute the scout. They would have made sure that the idea here with Vidanovic, no catch and shoot. You got to make him put it on the floor. Now, the time before, hard closeout, turn him into a driver. Yes, he scored, but that's what they'd be looking for. And right there, catch and shoot triple, quick timeout. And I think that would have been pretty strong words about their effort at the defensive end.
That was a great podcast you did with Duncan. I listened to all of them. And James, this is a new year, and just some of the things that he was saying about the team, the group, the buy-in. So I think he's going to be a little bit more assertive. He's obviously got a few changes, but looking forward to seeing kind of like a new and improved, if you will, James Duncan.
Here's Nathan Sobey, from the corner. He's checked in. Mentioned he's going to be on a bit of a minutes restriction today, as well as Aaron Baines, as they ease those two guys back. Nice to see them both on the floor. Great young repair from long range.
The between the legs drag and oh my goodness. Yeah, it is going to be unbelievable when you get Will McDowell wide. See?
This is what we're talking about. Steal, and he's on the rim. Rayan Repair putting on a show here in this first quarter.
What happened to the days when a little person used to guard you, bring the ball up the court? This is just distorting matchups when you got a guy like this, a praying mantis. You got to be careful with this ball.
We saw some of that with Luke Travers last night. Again, Repair, great hands, and he draws the offensive foul.
A kid that likes to play defense already at this age. And you heard in that podcast again when you were speaking to Modi, the kid is a gym rat. He loves it. He just loves to play basketball. So every aspect of the game, sometimes you get kids at that age, they only focus on being good at one thing. This kid he wants to be a complete basketball player. He wants to be a lottery pick.
Well, you can't cross it over in front of him. I mean, you just cannot do it.
High risk.
Here's Brown Jr. Find Repairs, feeling good. Finds Vidanovic. Pounding down low, Harry Froling, and Vidanovic scores over the top.
Vidanovic said, I don't know what you heard about me, but I got a bit of a package. 3-ball jump hooks, attacking the rim.
Breakers out by 8.
Maybe the Kings was holding them back.
In the final 3 minutes here of the opening term, Sobey into the lane, finishes over the top. First bucket for Sobey in preseason.
Good to see Sobes staying aggressive. Going at CG, the other CG3, Glidden.
Change of scenery for Cam Glidden over the offseason. From Southeast Melbourne. Beautiful pass. He finds Rob Lowe underneath.
Rob Lowe still got plenty left in the tank.
There's a couple of NBL stars there.
That dude in the white shoes over there.
That was Cal Bruton front row there, and Daniel Kickett behind him. Rolling. Pressure from the Breakers. Danovic switches on to Kadee. He's got Froling underneath now. Mismatch with Glidden. Good help, and Froling good enough to draw the contact.
This is what we know. The Harry can shoot the three. He can pass the ball, but sometimes, Liam, when you got guys involved in just non-stop dribble handoffs and pick and rolls and they don't get that post touch, it's hard for him to get into a rhythm. So at some point, you just got to just give the ball to him and let him be the biggest guy on the court. Just be big for a little while. So like I said, you got to get this guy involved more. He's going to obviously come off the bench. His minutes are going to be, maybe 15 to 20, maybe.
Mm-hmm.
But I want to be able to get some consistency out of him down low.
He was tremendous in the NBL 1 South during the off-season. Harry Froling for the Hobart Chargers. Helped lead them to NBL 1 South Championship. And has looked good early in pre-season for Brisbane. They had a couple of hit-outs against Melbourne. Harry Froling played really well. Here's Dan Fotu checked in. The rookie out of St Mary's. A minute and a half remaining in this first quarter. Here's Kadee, wide open on the arc, can't hit. And Barry Brown Jr. on the push. Gets the step on Statman, kick to the corner. Extra pass for Danovic. Off the front of the rim, but the Breakers get it back.
Breakers are playing a lovely style of basketball early.
Here's Brown. Glidden, no hesitation. Bang, that's down Cam Glidden from long range.
Cam Glidden, I was calling his name last year. There was a game or two where he came out there for the Phoenix and made plenty of shots, but then he got lost in the rotation, lost in the depth chart. So luckily here, he got him to change the scenery. And they got them a sniper out there on the perimeter.
Brown had him there in transition, looked him off. It's all about just a willingness to shoot for Cam Glidden. If he's going to let it fly like that, offensive foul, you would imagine. An offensive foul? Foul called on Rob Lowe underneath. And he's not happy about it.
Nah, you wouldn't be. When you get a shoulder to the rib cage, to the chest plate. Now, here's when you don't, Liam. You don't want to start going at the referees in the preseason.
No.
Don't start making a reputation for yourself that you're the complaining guy.
Mm-hmm.
Get on side early. Hey, ref, good call. You got me on that one. Even though you know it was a bad call.
Play the long game.
You got the long game, Liam. Can we confirm there's air conditioning in the Darwin Stadium?
Well, there's a lot of shorts being worn by the coaches and by the fans. Hot in the Northern Territory right now. So no, can't confirm or deny.
Right.
It's an 8-point lead to the Breakers. Inside the final minute of this first term repair. He's been a highlight reel thus far, and Rob Lowe puts a lid on that one.
Robert Lowe. He's looking in some good shape.
Doing some work above the rim in this first quarter, Rob Lowe. Here's Sobey, offensive foul called on Mitchell, and again it's Rayan Repair and his defensive energy getting things done for the Breakers.
Playing both ends of the floor like he cares. Like, you don't have to convince him to try to play defense. I love it.
Just a couple of seconds left in this first term. Breakers out by 10. It's been a 28-point opening quarter. Rob Lowe lets it fly. It comes up short. Oh boy, that was impressive stuff by Modi Mayor and his group.
Got to be happy with that group. Well, Modi's over there having a chat. Brisbane obviously got some turnovers happening. Wouldn't be happy with that. How much do you read into one quarter of basketball? Like you say, you just don't want those glaring problems. Things that you can control. You don't want those. You can't always control how well you shoot, but you can control your effort, your execution, that kind of stuff. And obviously it'll get better as the season rolls on, but you never like looking at it now.
Breakers up by 10 at the end of the first quarter. Quick break, and we'll be back with the second term.
Did you hear a definite deciding sign? No. No? You want more? We don't say it under the bus, boy. It's your word. It's my word? It's your word. That's right. Ladies and gentlemen, red side going to win this one. In the second quarter, I'm going to come with a bag of goodies and throw them out to you all. Back to you, Mike. 10-point game.
Red choice is a bag of goodies. He wins the bag of goodies. He's got a big, giant backpack that he brings to the middle of the door. His nickname in his NBL Blitz is the Hot Dog. You get a shirt. You get a shirt. Everybody gets a shirt thanks to Troy.
I've got a couple yesterday for giving away $100 giveaways, but you know what, guys? They're there to be given away, so I'm going to give as much as I can away tonight. Starting with the red side.
28-18. There we go. Second quarter here at Darwin. Thanks to the Northern Territory government. That's the NBL Blitz.
All right, we're back. Second quarter action in Darwin. Bullets trailing the Breakers by 10 here in the early going. As Jason Kadee finds himself wide open under the rim.
Nice screen, nice ball movement. JD, Coach Duncan has got his starting five back out there. He's trying to get as much continuity as you can early by keeping his starting lineup out there, at least for the first half of the quarter.
Here's Brown Jr. on the attack. Left it finished. Rob Lowe. My, oh my. He's up and about.
What was the over and under on Rob Lowe tip jams? I had the under. It was one. I had the under.
Well, it's been 2 so far and a 2-hand flush as well. 3 dunks, and Ryan Repair can't add to the 10-point Breakers lead from long range. This has been fun from Rob Lowe and the Breakers.
This is a Rob Lowe that this might be some college days Rob Lowe. I mean,
some Lewis sort of stuff.
Yes, the old Billikens.
Here's Liafa. Some crafty stuff by him, but he can't roll it in. Baines takes it away.
Are we just going to pencil Baines in for 10 rebounds a game?
I think you can. You've got a pen license for that one.
Yeah.
Here's Baines underneath. Good find from Gak. And there's that lefty hook you're talking about.
And did you see the little right chicken wing to the rib cage to Rob Lowe? Just a little bit of a
And here he is talking on D. James Duncan loving what he's bringing to his squad at the defensive end, if nothing but with that communication. Here's Lowe, feeling good off the back of the rim. Baines, straight away 3, and that's not quite back in the kit bag at the moment.
That's 10 push-ups. Air balls is just automatic 10. In comes TJ Tyler. See what he got.
Changes from both squads. Derek Pardon back into the mix for the Breakers. Jarrell Brantley back out there, and Tyler Johnson back on the floor for the Bullets. 22-30, Breakers lead here, 2 minutes into the second term. Here's Repair. Finds Pardon, and that doesn't go down. Gak with the rebound.
The fact that you can even initiate offense with Repair, like you can run pick and rolls with this guy. What a package. His Baines just gets him a nice, easy deuce.
Just look at him. Is he giving him defensive tips? Is he telling him you can't front me on that action?
This is NBA veteran Baines that we have watching right here. This is a young Baines. You know, back in his younger days when he might have been a little bit wayward, for choice of a better word. He is a seasoned NBA player now, man. He's back home. He's back out here having the time of his life.
Is he taking Jarrell Brantley under his wing?
Trying to keep him in the league a little longer.
Well, this has been fun from Aaron Baines in this first half. Great to see him back out there. Repair, playmaking. Here's Brantley. Hasn't had a huge impact thus far. Tries to find Pardon underneath. Eventually it gets there, but Baines worries him out of the finish. That should be a shot clock violation on the Breakers. The Bullets D standing up.
Baines, he takes walling up on defense to a whole nother level. He's a walking wall himself. arms straight up. He has that principle of verticality rule already built into him from the NBA days.
It's the great wall of Baines. Makes it tough to finish around the rim. Here's Krebs. Johnson, pick and roll with Baines. Gack. And that pass straight to the front row of the stands.
Good thought. Good thought. Sloppy turnover in the end, but I like the aggression.
5-point lead to the Breakers. Bullets working their way back into this one. A strong start to this second quarter. Liafa rejects the screen, kicks it out to Brantley. Shot fake, step back, drains it from the corner.
Shot fake, still shot the 3 ball with confidence. Little things like that. He might not be your go-to guy, but as long as he can not be an offensive liability, which he clearly isn't, with shots like that, they all help.
Here is Brantley. Liafa finds Glidden. And here's Liafa wide open on the arc. And the Bullets dodged one right there.
Yeah, I think the humidity in Darwin could be getting to a few of them. Tanner Krebs, like he's huffing and puffing. Guys obviously playing hard and don't have the game fitness yet, but all it takes is one defensive breakdown, and the coach is all over it.
Speaking of the coaches,
Sub Krebs.
did the New Zealand assistant try to keep that ball in play? Not sure. Realizes exactly how that rule works, but the officials were all over it. It's good hands from Glidden, scrambling defensively. And the Bullets will take it out through Sobey.
You know when they talk minutes restrictions, Liam, how many what are we talking? How many?
Good question.
I would love to know that. Give me a number. 12, 12 and a half? Like, what is it?
I would say, I mean, it depends on who you are. I mean, I was on permanent minute restrictions at the NBL level. Sobey, I mean, what is he, a 35-minute-a-night guy? As he shoots from range on the buzzer, can't hit, and the foul called on Ryan Repair over the top. So I would say maybe sub-20 for him tonight.
Yeah.
Maybe even lower, considering he came off the bench.
I was thinking maybe around 15 for him, and obviously he wants to play more, but you got to protect players from themselves sometimes. So, yeah, you got to kind of ease Sobey into it. But I tell you, once the season starts, all bets are off.
Well, it'll be interesting. Only played 12 games last season, Nathan Sobey. And I asked James Duncan on that conversation on the huddle recently, are you going to need to nurse him into the start of the season and during the start of the season? He said, yeah, you know what, we are. We're going to have to see how he reacts and go through the process of ramping up those minutes. But attacks to the rim like that, it's going to make him want to keep him out there.
That's still who he is, an athletic guard that can get on the rim. What I'm looking for in the Bullets, like who are you guys? Like, who are you? Who's the leader? You need a leader. Like last year, you would have said, okay, Sobey's the captain. But just because you're the captain, Liam, does that make you a leader? So, and you can also be a very popular teammate. Does that make you a leader? But I think Baines brings leadership to this team.
Oh my. Baines
in spades
is not only the out-and-out clear alpha and leader amongst that squad, he comes in immediately as one of the best in the league to be able to get that done.
Yeah. So now the rest of the guys, you fall in line. You just fall in line. It's not about, oh, this was my team and now you're coming in. Nope, let's just go with the guy who knows how to lead, and let's follow this guy. You need followers as well.
And that's a big reason why he's going to make a massive difference for this squad, Aaron Baines. They trail the Breakers by 6 right here, midway through the second quarter. Liafa. Ball moves, finds Glidden. He's got the floater from the line, can't hit. Comes back out. This is more like Cam Glidden territory. Single digits on the shot clock for the Breakers. Glidden. Step back. That's off the iron. And Tyler Johnson with the rebound. Yeah, foul plucked out of nowhere there. It looks like the Breakers are going to keep it.
I missed that one, but if the refs call it, it must have been a good call.
Playing the long game?
Still, forever.
Here's Brantley. Glidden, no hesitation again, and that's no good. DJ Mitchell on the hop. Here's Devondrick Walker now.
Devondrick dodged the bullet. I'm sure the scouting report says you don't help off Glidden. That overhelp nearly cost him.
Sobey through the contact at the rim. Nathan Sobey starting to get himself going. 6 points now, a couple of buckets, and he's getting to the free throw line.
Yeah, that's good to see. That's what you do to get your confidence up. Get yourself to the line. Get you a couple of cheapies. He seems a little bit proppy. So I would expect a sub any minute now, but good signs early though.
Jeez, they missed that. They missed that X factor that Sobey brings, that star power at the offensive end for the second half of last season. Great to see him back in uniform.
When you got a team that's 1 out of 4 guys can be a leading scorer, that's when you know you got some good balance. You don't want to always be just dominant. That Sobey has to be the leading scorer every single night.
Here's Brantley. That's what the jack jumpers have, Damon. We saw it on display again last night. Brantley can't finish in the lane right there. Milton Doyle's going to lead that team in scoring this season, but they play with a mentality where they really don't care who scores on any given possession.
Ain't it beautiful? Ain't it beautiful to watch this team move the ball and just get the next guy open? They have a style of play already. It's like they've already halfway through the season the way they're playing. It's like they just picked up where they left off last year. Look great.
Sobey from the corner, that's off. That team's struggling a little from long range right now. As we work our way towards halftime, Derek Pardon can't get it over the top. And Tyler Johnson in transition.
Early days, but the Pardon and Brantley combo not clicking just yet.
Bucket for Tyler Johnson in the paint, and Modi Mayor wants to chat about it. Timeout New Zealand, 1 point lead. They were up by 10 not that long ago, the Breakers, and that margin's been cut to a single point.
Momentum swings in the Northern Territory. Gonna get plenty of that. You ever been to Darwin?
I was out there for the 3x3 hustle a couple of years back, and it was a good time. Right there in the waterfront. I tell you, the local community, they're starting to really love their hoops up there. They got around the 3x3 a couple of years back, and they were all over the Darwin Salties this season in the NBL 1 North. And so far, first 3 nights of the Blitz, it's been a really solid level of attendance in those seats.
Absolutely. The Salties, they got the kind of the momentum rolling, and all the talk of another licensed NBL team going up to Darwin, I'm all for it. I played up there when my last year in the league when I was with Townsville, back when I was impersonating the basketball player, and we played Perth. Interesting story. After the game, we decided to go and have a couple refreshments, me and the old Rob Rose, former MVP, and we see Daryl White there.
Oh, yeah.
You know his son?
Yes, sir.
Yep. So Rob introduces me to Daryl.
Okay.
And Daryl, he said, "Oh, Daryl, this is Damon." And Daryl looks at me and goes, "I don't like the way you play."
Oh, wow.
And I said, "But I like the way you play." And now I like the way his sons play. I said sons because he got another little boy.
Yes, he does.
Yeah, he's nice too.
Did he expand? Was he? What didn't he like about it?
No, I didn't go into detail.
You didn't want to know?
I didn't want to get asked too many questions.
Well, 3-time AFL Premiership player, of course. I went on a tour to the Territory with Darryl White, out into some of the communities.
Oh yeah.
Spending some time with some basketball clinics, some footy clinics, spending some time in the schools. And I tell you, I had a little pickup at one point with the local talent, and Darryl White could play, and he was an out lob threat every single time down the floor as the Breakers turn it over, shot clock violation.
Athletics throughout the family.
If you're just joining, Will McDowell-White sitting this one out, excited for what he's going to do this season. He's dealing with a bit of knee soreness right now. Might play in game 2.
Hello.
Oh, my! DJ Mitchell cocks it back and sends it down.
Nice. Like father, like son.
Wide open lane. And DJ Mitchell took advantage. Here's Vodanovic. Can't hit from three, and the Bullets have worked their way back, and now they're in the lead.
Said it, James Duncan went over there and gave him probably an early preseason rocket, and locked in on defense, got themselves right back in this.
Johnson, strong finish underneath, and the Bullets, they're up and about.
Okay, that's vintage Tyler Johnson right there. That is him, Miami Heat, every team he's been on, attacking the rack, hanging in the air, drawing the foul. Him doing that, Sobey doing it on the other side. There's a lot to like about the Bullets this year. You got them in the top four, Liam?
Man, I don't right now. And primarily just because of the fact that these guys are coming in a little underdone. You know, how well are they all going to be able to stay on the floor? Baines, Sobey, Tyler Johnson's had some knee issues over the journey. The talent is certainly there, but man, it's going to be a really competitive season, and they're going to be in the mix.
Best time to have the play in this year with this level of talent, because we get us some finals action with six teams battling. That is a finish. This is who he is
Another.
in transition.
Wow, through the contact, off the glass, and you can see he's got his juices flowing right now.
He ain't a tall guy, but he just knows how to get to the rack. He knows how to finish.
This is what we came to see. We'll see Aaron Baines out there, the big banger, making his preseason debut, but also Tyler Johnson, one of the big names of the offseason, the big signings, 8-year NBA veteran, and he's just given us a little taste of what he has to offer.
Maybe some of our buddies out there in the Twitterverse can help us out. What was Tyler Johnson's highest league average in the NBA?
Okay.
I feel like he averaged about 18 with the Heat.
I'm gonna say either 13 or 14. Leafa finds Rob Lowe underneath. I know he had 3 straight seasons of double-digit scoring averages in the association, which
Is legit.
is very, very legit. But I'm gonna say, maybe 13 or 14 was the peak. We'll wait to hear. Foul call.
When you got scores, obviously Khadi is a scoring guard. Obviously Baines, you got Tyler, you got Sobey. Now what you got to be able to do is you got to be able to blend. You might have to sacrifice. Is it going to be okay with you if you don't be a top 2 scorer this game, but you get the win? You know what I mean? Some players, sometimes you get too much scoring on one team. They don't know how to gel. They don't know how to work together. The pieces sometimes don't fit. And that's what's interesting to see about the preseason, to see what the camaraderie is like, to see what the little bitty things on the bench. Are guys clapping for each other? Are they happy for each other? Because everybody can play, Liam, but everybody can't play together. And I think last year's Brisbane team, they had talent, but I don't think they could play together.
Well, you can talk about talent on a lot of these NBL squads for this upcoming season, but you're right. It's about how well that all comes together. Scott Roth and the Jack Jumpers showed how important that can be with what they did last season with a lack of talent across the board, fair to say. Got all the way to the grand final series.
Yeah, the Jack Jumpers are the blueprint for how far it can go if the team plays together. Well. 13 point, what did you say, Tyler Johnson average?
13 or 14.
We getting some intel that says 13.7.
I don't Juan. 13.7 from Miami. That's 16-17 season. I'm going to say that's bang on the money.
I'll give you that one. Nice work.
I appreciate you. We're a tick over 1 minute to play in this first half. Bullets, they trailed by 10. They're now out by 6. Turnover there. The Breakers will take it, but this has been a really strong second quarter performance from James Duncan's squad.
Absolutely. Turned up the screws on defense, which also translates into some better offense, and things just seem to click a little bit smoother.
Just 7 points on the board for the Breakers since quarter time. That'll help from Barry Brown Jr. as he cuts the margin of 4.
Barry's an unassuming guard who just all of a sudden you look up and he's downhill, he's on the rim.
Steal by Pardon in transition, no whistle, and Brisbane take it. That was interesting.
Yeah, we're not going to be able to bail you out for that one, big fella.
Froling, too easy to the rim, and he finishes underneath.
That's what we need more of. If Harry can be that guy, everything else is gravy if you ask me. Like, so when you put him at the elbow like the possession before and ask him to make a play from there, I think it's high risk. But when he's 4 feet from the basket, I think good things going to happen more times than not.
Final seconds of the first half here. Liafa got open and front rims the three-point attempt, and that'll do us. Halftime at the Darwin Entertainment Centre, your first leg of your Sunday evening doubleheader, and it's the Brisbane Bullets with a 6-point lead. Trailed by 10, they're now up by 6, 43-37 at halftime. Aaron Baines, his first minutes for a Brisbane Bullet. Tyler Johnson had his moments in that first half, and after what we figured was some pretty stern words in an early James Duncan huddle, the Bullets came out and responded.
You got to set the tone early. What are we doing? Like James, like I said, I refer back to that huddle podcast you had with him. This is going to be a different team. Guys are going to be held accountable, and he let them know early. Just because it's 39,000 degrees outside and you think we're on a tropical holiday, we got some business to take care of, and I can't see any sloppiness on defense. So I think that was a timely discussion. I wish I knew what he was saying, but they obviously came out and responded.
Well, it was a topsy-turvy first half. It was 28-18 in the first quarter, New Zealand's way. Won the first quarter by 10. And then 25-9 Brisbane in that second term. And as we have a bit of a look at the halftime highlights, you're going to see some very nice stuff from New Zealand early, and then a few highlight plays for Brisbane as the game progressed. But that for me was my favourite moment of the opening half. Big banger, underneath, just loving being back on the floor.
Baines is sealing. He's doing all the things he's always done, but he's just doing it with a joy, isn't he? Like, he's just so happy to be playing basketball. He's winking at people. He's talking to the opposition, giving them instructions. He's just up and about, and that's what this team needs.
Rayan Repair had some moments, as did Rob Lowe. A couple of tip jams in that first quarter, and it was fun to see Tyler Johnson get going in that second term. A couple of finishes at the rim, and this one from DJ Mitchell was a highlight.
Yeah, that was a good pass. I just said earlier that I didn't know if I was a big fan of Harry making decisions from the elbow, but that was a dime he just dropped for the DJ Mitchell dunk.
And this is a much-needed bucket from Barry Brown Jr. late in that second quarter, as things were really starting to go pear-shaped for the Breakers, who just couldn't get themselves going offensively in that second term.
If you're going to be bad at something early, you don't want it to be your defense. I'll take some bad offense to start of preseason. Tight rings, apparently. Mind you, Bryce Cotton didn't think those rings were that tight. But, I know guys are not trying to miss shots. But like I said, defense, we got to get good as soon as possible.
There's a little bit of the box score for the starters from the Bullets, who get the same for the Breakers. As we take a little bit of a break, 43-37, the Bullets lead here at halftime. Big second half coming up in just a few moments.
All right, so when I say clock, clap, that's what I want to see when your team is going to the free throw line. Until then,
Coming this September, starring great weather, spectacular landscapes, and possibly you. Summer in the NT. Why wait till December? Summer starts early in the Northern Territory. Seek an early summer holiday in the NT. Different in every sense.
put your hands together for the Brisbane Bullets as they come back on the floor, warm up. Come on, Team Brisbane, now it's preload. Make some noise.
Welcome back to Darwin. Second half, not far away. Brisbane leading the New Zealand Breakers by 6. And we look at the halftime stats. Tom Vodanovic leading the way for the Breakers with 10 points off the bench. And a real spread of scoring for the Brisbane Bullets. Baines has 8. Nathan Sobey has 7. And Tyler Johnson has 7 as well. Liam Santamaria with you alongside my man Damon Lowry. Damon, who jumped off the page for you in that opening half?
Bainesy and Vodanovic. I really like what Vodanovic did. Like, he just came out aggressive. Like, there's a role player, but his role is impact. Sometimes calling a guy a role player is disrespectful. He's an impact player. I didn't realize that he had that level of scoring ability. You see glimpses of it, but it's looking like he's serious.
It was funny going into the off-season and free agency. I heard a couple of things from a number of different coaches and teams around the league. A lot of them wanted an Antonius Cleveland type in one of their import spots, and everyone was looking for a Tom Vodanovic on their roster. You know, a Fabian Krislovic, a Jared Bairstow, a guy who could come in and give them some grunt. But when he can do that, but also come in and knock down a few triples and make a few plays for you, it's cherry on the top.
Absolutely. Small ball 4, big enough to defend down on the block, big enough to agile enough to attack a bigger matchup, get to the rim. Very, very awesome first half for him.
Bit of a different lineup to begin this second half for the Bullets. DJ Mitchell and Cody Statman out there for James Duncan's squad. Barry Brown can't hit there, and the big banger Aaron Baines pulled down the defensive board.
I don't know, how do you gotta have to attack Bainesy some kind of way. Like, if this was the NBA, you'd put him in pick and rolls, but like, he's playing a one-man zone and just patrolling the paint. Look at the lefty hook, Liam.
Oh, he just gave him the too little.
Look at the lefty hook. All you kids out there, please learn how to shoot with both hands, especially around the basket. Efficient by Bainesy.
Really nice execution for the Bullets. They went straight at Bainesy, and here he is. Can't finish in transition. He gave him the too little, Damon. It's his first NBL game, and it's a minute into the second half, and he's just letting him know.
He's having the ball. Even though he just missed his little finger roll there, little twisty, he's still just having a good time out there. A happy Baines is a good Baines.
Here come the Breakers, trying to get themselves going a little. Got off to such a great start to begin this game, but it's been like pulling teeth ever since at the offensive end. That will help the putback from Brantley.
A rare offensive rebound given up by the Bullets for Baines in the net. Not that was his man, but I'm going to need to see something out of the imports for the Breakers, Liam. I know it's, like I said, first game, but we ain't making excuses, are we? Derek Parton has had an extremely quiet first half, so hopefully he can get into a rhythm.
Baines sets up Mitchell in the middle of the lane. He can't knock it down. Here's Brantley in transition. One of the imports you're looking for a little bit more from, and the turnover results.
Obviously, I saw him in the warm-ups. He was handling the ball so he can get the board and go coast to coast, but he's going to have to be able to take care of it once he gets down there. On that occasion, he kicked it out of bounds.
Spent time with the Utah Jazz a few years ago. Brantley, there you see the numbers, 5 points, 4 boards. Spent time with their G League affiliate, the Salt Lake City Stars. And has been in Russia and France last couple of years. Walker, good execution. And the Bullets get an easy bucket at the rim.
Back pick by Baines, gets him a bucket. I see a lot of guys go to set screens, Liam, and they shoot, they have those excuse me screens, the ones that they don't make any contact. Guess what? When Baines sets a pick, you're staying picked.
He pulls down the defensive board. Right there, he is an enormous presence, and he's making himself felt in his first hit out with the Bullets. Foul underneath, and the big banger would get to the strike.
It's just little things like that, Liam. He sets the pick, he rolls, but he had the guy on his top side. He held him there. He just sealed the absolute crap out of him. You're not getting back in this play. And the big fella can make free throws. I mean, he's bringing a level of skill in the big man department that I don't think we've seen a whole lot of. Is that saying too much?
Yeah, not a whole lot of. I mean, it's reminiscent, of course, of when Bogues came into the league.
Yeah, you
a
can
few
tell.
years back, and the kind of influence and impact he had for the Sydney Kings.
They polished those little things. They polished that doing that. You play an 82-game NBA season. You're playing with NBA legends, Hall of Famers. You pick up stuff, and then you come back here and you put it on display.
Well, it's 11 points and 5 boards for Baines here early in this third quarter, and that only starts to speak to the kind of influence he has for this squad. And fun watching him over the course of this season. Brantley, no whistle. Oh, DJ Mitchell hits the deck, but he can't finish. The frustration continues. Easy transition bucket for DJ Mitchell.
Mitchell gets away with the flop, gets up, runs the floor, gets a nice spoon feed from Khalifa too.
And the Breakers got completely lost in D-Trans. Part of it was Jarrell Brantley with his hands outstretched asking some kind of question. Meanwhile, DJ Mitchell just ran that lane.
The only question players should be asking referees are how you doing. That's it. Don't ask nothing else. Play basketball, man.
Well, they look like they're at 6s and 7s right now. The Breakers, Liafa hops his way down the lane, and Michael Allen thought he took one too many steps.
I didn't think he did. It looked like a nice move to me, but hey, that's the way it goes. Now get back and get a stop.
You thought that was the gather step in full effect?
I didn't mind it. Sometimes they teach the kids a little. Look at Bainesy. He's even wiping the floor. Reckon Bainesy's missed any gym sessions?
In his life? Nah.
In elite shape, isn't he?
As the Bullets through Devondrick Walker. Back to Kadeem. Kick to DJ Mitchell. The ball moves well for the Bullets here. Over the top to Baines. Collects it. Can't quite finish it at the rim. What can the Breakers create? Repairs back out there. As is Bogdanovic. Can't knock it down. And Devondrick Walker right down the middle cylinder. Waits for the troops to arrive.
As long as you're taking the right kind of shots, like I say, I'm not going to get upset if you're just missing, but because nobody's trying to miss. But as long as I get some good offensive execution, I get the shot I want, I don't mind it.
Mitchell, Baines in the corner. Down. That's nice to see from Aaron Baines. And look at the smile on his face as he drains the 3-ball.
Gave Barry a little tap on the chest just to let him know I can do this as well.
Liafa. Statman fights over the screen. Just takes his time. Liafa knocks down the mid-range. It's a 12-point lead to Brisbane here. New Zealand doing everything they can just to stay in touch. Dominated proceedings early, the Breakers, but it's been all Brisbane ever since.
Yeah, New Zealand offensively are nowhere near where they're going to need to be. Like I said, they got to try to get something positive out of it. Obviously, Bogdanovic, no good, but still a good shot. But I'm going to, again, you're going to need some more input out of the imports. And at this stage, first game in, I don't know if it's the Darwin humidity, but it's not happening for him at this stage.
Easy whistle for the official travel on DJ Mitchell. That's going to be the question for the Breakers all season. Corey spoke about it a little bit last night. I think they're going to be there or thereabouts at the defensive end. I think they've got a lot of guys on this roster that are going to defend. Rayan Repair has been terrific in that regard in this game so far in terms of being disruptive. I think Barry Brown Jr. is a good defender. Tom Abercrombie, of course. And Isaiah Liafa, you spoke about what he can get done at the defensive end. Can they put enough points on the board?
That's the question. That is the question, because all that defense in the world without any scoreboard pressure is not going to make that big of a deal.
And, of course, this lineup isn't exactly reminiscent of what we're going to see over the course of the season because there's no Will McDowell-White out there today. We've got to keep that in mind in terms of, getting a read on this team and what they're going to be like because the ball's going to be in his hands a lot. he's going to be doing a lot of the playmaking for this squad.
True. Barry Brown, he'll probably play off the ball a lot. They'll share it. They'll both be off the ball from time to time, and they will get their share of points, I'm sure. But, like I said, the question is going to be, can I get productivity, more of it, out of Pardon Brantley? Gonna need it.
Well, it hasn't really been there so far tonight. Pardon 0 points, 0 of 4 from the field. Brantley's got 5, 2 of 6, and then they give up a layup off a free throw in defensive transition.
Yeah, I mean, you can't be giving away passes in the preseason for something egregious like that. Look at the dangerous feet.
Surprised that wasn't an automatic timeout from
Regular-
James Duncan, from Murdy Mayor, I'm sorry.
Yeah, that's definitely a regular season timeout.
Kadee, Froling. That's offline. And New Zealand will take it. It's a 12-point margin. Rupert in transition. Tries to step by Kadee. Pardon, strong
Okay.
finish underneath.
Okay, give me some effort like that, some plays like that. Get his confidence happening.
It's a little more like it from Derek Pardon. Cuts the margin to 10. Rasmus Buck out there. Nominated replacement player for the Bullets this season against his former team. Kadee front rims that three-point attempt. And New Zealand can cut it into single digits now. Liafa. Foul called on Gorjak Gak, and just a little pep in the step of the Breakers all of a sudden.
Good to see, too, Rasmus Bach in the game. Because I thought he had some moments. He had some moments last year. And for whatever reason, almost got left out of the league. So Brisbane obviously threw him the lifeline. So good to see him out there getting a few minutes in, trying to keep his name relevant in the league.
Timeout called from James Duncan just as he was starting to feel a little momentum. For the Breakers, James Duncan calls for time, and no surprise, Damon, to see things starting to get going a little bit for the Breakers when Bainesy takes a seat.
And I'm looking over there at the timeout, and Bainesy's giving some instructions as well. You got two coaches. Like, obviously, James is doing his thing, but then you got somebody. As a coach, if you can have a player echo what you're saying, take what you're saying, and force it out there on the floor, and force it to the group, it carries a little bit more weight. And like you say, Bainesy is an alpha, and if James got his back, Bainesy got his back, I think that message comes across crystal clear. There's no misinterpretation of the message.
And he has that intimidating physical presence about him too, because of course we're talking about what we're seeing here on game day, but more importantly what's taken place on the day-to-day with
Yes.
that squad on the practice floor. And when the big banger stands over the top of you and lets you know how you need to fight over that screen, he's going to make his point.
Absolutely.
So we're back underway. Still a double-digit lead for Brisbane. New Zealand, can they maintain the momentum they were starting to build? Radanovic can't hit there. Tanner Kreb takes it for Brisbane.
I wonder what Roper's post-up game is like. Can we get him on the block? He's gonna, he got Kadee on him. Just wondering, he obviously got a package, Liam, but we haven't seen any post-up just yet. I wonder if he has that in his game with that size.
Well, we've seen some things. Travel called there. Just a little hesitation from the perimeter. We saw a 1-foot runner from the free throw line, which was unexpected. We've seen his disruption at the defensive end and his ability to make players facing the basket. You're right, taking a small defender down low. Hasn't quite put that on display. Here's Bart, guarded by Liafa. Kadee. Good pressure from the Breakers. Good fight from Rupert. Eventually, Harry Froling gets the advantage.
Yep, Harry made work of that one. He was committed to getting that post up, but I still like the fight that Rupert gave. He made him earn it.
Here's Rupert snaking the ball screen. Liafa. Step back in front of Gak and in and out. Filiafa Vodanovic, all hustle, wins it back. Rupert lets it fly from long range. Down, 3-point hit from the French next-star.
Stroke. 18 years old? Mm-hmm. What were you doing when you was 18? What was your game like, Liam? 18. Guys are in high school and you're 12 at 18, some guys. And, here he is playing against grown men, and he's got this skill set.
Well, he's special. 12 points already in this one. And he's currently projected sort of a mid to late first round pick. As I mentioned recently, I fully expect those stocks to rise over the course of this season, just like Usman Jang's did with the Breakers last year.
Exactly. And I think he's going to have more of an early impact than what Usman had this time last year. And can you imagine getting Rupert into once the individual workouts start happening with the GMs? Vodanovic is liking the three-point line today. How many has he got up so far?
Well, he's got 15 now. Vodanovic. He's the game-leading scorer. Anything's done off the bench for the Breakers. Here's Gak, gets the step and the finish through the contact.
Very active Gak. GG. He's on the glass. I know he had some early rebounds, maybe 5 or 6 early. He can put the ball on the floor. He attacks the bag, closes out by Vodanovic, gets himself to the line. There's a lot to like about this dude.
I mentioned earlier, second-year pro, last year in the Czech Republic, and a bit of an under-the-radar signing by the Bullets over the off-season. James Duncan getting a good long look at him in this preseason hit-out.
Some good front court depth. Gaines, Harrison, Frawley, Gak, As this season wears on, guys start to get a little bit battle tested, a little bit weary, because you never know how many games guys can play. It's good to have that depth.
It's Rupert. Barry Brown Jr. isolated with Tyler Johnson. Lets it fly. That's a brick. And the Bullets a chance to extend their lead. We're a tick under the final minute here of the third quarter. Gak, mid-range, Jimmy. That's off. Vodanovic pulls it down. Brown probing in transition. Oh, skies his way to the cup.
Okay, that's nice. See, you don't have to run any plays if you can get a board and push it in transition and be a threat. You don't have to worry about your half-court stuff.
All of a sudden, that margin's back down to 7. A stop and a score here would be big time for the Breakers. Fumble underneath from Mitchell. Late in the shot clock here for Brisbane. Foul called on Rob Lowe. Tyler Johnson had him misfooted.
And that's what happens when you're playing against a scorer like Tyler. Anytime he shot fakes, you think he's shooting it. Youngsters out there, kids out there, work on your shot fake. Defenders are conditioned to run people off the three-point line. And now you got yourself to the rim. You're getting yourself fouled. Now to get the last possession of the quarter.
It's a veritable who's who on the baseline there. NBL basketball, Mark Worthington. Vince Crivelli. GM of basketball for the Wildcats. Danny Mills down there taking in proceedings as Tyler Johnson draws another foul on the Breakers. Had one to give, and the Bullets will take it on the side.
A committed scorer, Tyler Johnson. You have to be switched on defensively the entire time.
The shot clock turned off here for Brisbane. Should be the final possession here of this third quarter. What can they create? Here's Johnson.
He's going up.
Isolated with Brantley.
No, it's not.
Hands from Vodanovic. 7 on the clock now for the Bullets.
This is their 4th possession of this last 20 seconds or so. I'm tipping they might score this time. If you got the ball that many times, Liam.
Johnson attacks the middle of the lane. Lefty finish with the English off the glass.
You can't keep giving a team possession after possession and expect to get stops. That's 4 times. They was going to get one sooner or later.
You called it, David. A final second bucket there for Brisbane. Devondrick Walker and Tyler Johnson talk it out. Aaron Baines just supervising, making sure the conversation's going exactly how it should as the Bullets close out that third quarter with a bucket. It's a 9-point lead to Brisbane, 62-53. Fourth quarter action right around the corner, and we will be right back. Welcome back to Darwin. Fourth quarter. Brisbane leading by 9 over the New Zealand Breakers in the first of your Sunday evening doubleheader. Up later, Melbourne versus Illawarra. And that was something of an arm wrestle in that third quarter, Damon.
Yeah, it was. Backwards and forwards. Teams going on miniature little runs. But the Bullets, for the most part, have been the most consistent on defense. So no surprise that they have the 9-point lead. What's Bainesy on, 16 points?
14 and 6 for Baines, leading the way for Brisbane. And it's Vodanovic, 15 and 5 for New Zealand. And Rayan Rupert, he's got 12 points, leading scorers across these squads. And yeah, it was a tightly contested third term. Brisbane getting the better of it, 19-16.
Do you see a three-piece in Bainesy's future this year, Liam? A 30-point game is that, I don't know what his career high is, but he's got a very casual, efficient 14. And I can see him at some stage dropping a three-piece.
Maybe. I mean, he's going to be a double-double machine over the course of the season. 30 is...
too big?
I might be a little too big. He's going to have a major impact, though. I know that for sure. There's Brantley giving a little something here to begin this fourth quarter.
If Brantley gets the right matchup, I'm still trying to quite work out where his sweet spot is, but he seems committed once he gets down on a low block like that. Got a nice little jump hook. Good pass.
Cut. Great finish from Tyler Johnson, hanging in the air and scoring through the contact.
Moving without the ball. We lost one gorge in Wollongong. We get another gorge. Gack in Brisbane. He's making the plays.
Well, their movement without the ball and their ball movement, to be honest, has been a real feature of what we've seen from Brisbane in their opening preseason hit-outs. Their couple of wins over Melbourne a week or so ago, and then here in this one, James Duncan, he's mixed up at what they're doing a little bit offensively, somewhat reminiscent to what Scott Roth's doing with the Tasmania Jack Jumpers, and they're moving that thing.
Yeah, the days of just standing around playing iso ball, those days are over with. So even a guy like Tyler Johnson, who's a professional scorer, if he can move without the ball, then anybody can.
Well, here's Brantley with a little bit of isolation, and DJ Mitchell sends it away.
If it takes you 9 dribbles to get a shot up, you probably should dish it.
There's a beautiful pass from Johnson. Finds Mitchell underneath, and he'll go to the stripe.
What do they say about a bad shot? Just like a turnover. Get up one end. You got Brantley going a little bit too much dribbling, over-dribbling the ball. Gets himself in all kind of trouble, leads to an easy transition. And now here's DJ, gets some easy ones from the stripe.
Well, they've been at the free throw line a lot tonight. The Bullets, they're now 19 of 25. Attacking the rim, drawing fouls. And for the most part, cashing in from the free throw line. And as a result, there are a few breakers dealing with some foul trouble. Glidden, Rupert, and Rob Lowe all on 4. 2 of those guys out there on the floor right now.
That was better action just then from the breakers, moving the ball, getting some body movement, making that extra pass. At some stage, your offense is gonna get better, but you just don't want it to be complete and utter garbage early on. But I'm sure you're gonna have those possessions.
Here's Brown, finds Pardon, finds a little gap and finishes off the glass. Find a couple of avenues to score here, the Breakers. Question is now, can they start to get some stops? Bullets are flowing offensively. And the Breakers can't afford to trade buckets. And there's Tyler Johnson, again, returning to the free throw line.
Vintage once again, good ball movement. Imagine closing out on Tyler Johnson. He shows you that shot fake limb. He shows you the left. And he's getting to the rack. He's drawing fouls.
He has that hang time as well when he gets in there. Two for 2 from the stripe for Johnson, and the Bullets now out by 12.
It's the foul discipline. I always had a rule. Let's just try not to foul 5 times in a quarter. Can we just make that a pact? And early on, teams are trying to get used to how the refs are calling the game. Defensive transition. Come on, fellas. Come on, fellas.
Modi Mayor throws his arms up in exasperation on the sidelines as the Breakers don't get back, and Gak cashes in at the rim.
Don't get back.
Here's Glidden, mid-range pull-up. That's no good. Pardon can't finish, and Buck, good hands. Pardon at the ref. Brantley, nothing going. Can I get a look at the official here? We're going the other way.
Pardon saying, damn it, it's hot in Darwin. The humidity is getting to me. I'm resisting the urge to say beg your pardon. I won't say it. That'd be lame if I was to say that. But he's getting a little bit too excited. He's not getting the calls. He's clearly frustrated. So I'm blaming the humidity.
You snuck it in there. You found a way. You realized it was the fourth quarter and it hadn't got done, and you found a way to sneak it in there. It's a 14-point lead now for Brisbane. Lual Deng. DP signing for the Bullets this season. Look at the
Good
ball
pass.
movement. Kicks out to Mitchell, and he cashes in from long range.
This is beautiful basketball, that possession. They've done that multiple times. They get the ball screen. They make the extra pass. Guys are getting wide open shots. You're going to make those more than you miss them.
Foul called on Lual Deng on the perimeter. But that right there, that was a perfect example, that play, of what we've been seeing from Brisbane. So far in the preseason, the ball movement, the unselfishness. We spoke about it last season with the Bullets, when it started to stick in Lamar Patterson's hand a little too often, about how much better they looked when the ball got through hands. And we're seeing it here in the early stages of NBL 23 preseason.
And Duncan said it in the podcast on the huddle. It's the recruitment, the right personnel to buy into the message. Sometimes you got to make a few chess moves and move a few pieces around. Sometimes it's addition by subtraction, Liam. And this particular group right now, these early stages are looking to bought into with James is selling.
Here's Matt Johns, recent DP signing. Kadee. That can't hit. Johns, activity on the glass, but last touch by Brisbane. New Zealand will take it.
Looks like James has pretty much cleared the bench, and this game, even though it's not technically over, his boys have done enough. His boys have done enough, and goes, the young fellas, some DPs, some guys who don't get a whole lot of run. You got a 17-point lead and 5 minutes and 43 seconds to protect it.
And by those guys, of course, the main one you're talking about is Aaron Baines. 14 points, 6 boards in 13 and a half minutes on the floor. We liked what we saw from him. Nathan Sobey's an interesting one, though. Just the 8 minutes 50 for him tonight. We mentioned he'd be on a minutes restriction. Was not expected to play a lot in this one. But he got wrapped up early.
Yeah, I just didn't. He didn't look like he was moving that well, even though he attacked the rack twice. Just watching him just walk around on court, something just didn't look right to me anyway. And I think James might just be erring on the side of caution.
You can see the bandage there on that troublesome right leg. It's been in the polo throughout this second half, and this is what James Duncan was referring to when he said we're going to have to nurse him through his road to recovery and his return to play. Get him out there. You see him attacking the rim a little, making some plays. But then maybe it flared up at halftime. Maybe a little swelling, a little soreness. We're not sure, but they've put him on ice the rest of the way.
And you know what? I don't even think Brisbane need to have Sobey as a all first team Sobey this year to be that, to be super duper competitive, to even be a top 4 team. And and I'm not trying to be disrespectful saying anything. What I'm saying is they got that much extra stuff offensively and defensively that it can cover. You don't need Sobey to get 25 points every night. They can easily spread that scoring around, and defense is going to get them more offensive opportunities. So, Sobey, we can take your time.
Mm-hmm.
This team is not built around Nathan Sobey.
It's built around Aaron Baines.
Correct.
Even though he's come in late to the piece, that's kind of the impact and influence he has on this team. Good pass from Krebs there.
Did we ever get any word on Mr. Abercrombie after he got that random stray from Bainesy? We haven't seen him since.
Well, you said concussion right from the very get-go with Abercrombie. I'm scanning the bench there. Can you see him on that?
Don't see him over there. No.
Matt Johns knocks in the free throw. Hopefully he's okay. Because it literally was, 25 seconds on the floor? You said it was a Bainesy bow?
It was a Bainesy, random, nothing deliberate, nothing intentional, just Bainesy just moving. Bainesy's body just moving. Sometimes it's violent.
Well, here's Rayan Rupert. It's been a bright spot for the Breakers tonight, no doubt about that. Pardon, he gets himself to the rim.
Okay, it's a little something. We just need to see what you're capable of. We don't need to see it all at its best this early, but we need to see at least glimpses of it.
Here's Tanner Krebs down the middle of the lane. Finds Matt Johns. Good scramble from the Breakers. Late in the shot clock now for the Bullets. Jason Kadee needs to make a play. Loves this situation. Can't quite knock it down. Rayan Rupert striding to the rim. Blocking foul called on DJ Mitchell. And the Breakers will take it out of bounds.
These last 4.5 minutes, you're down 17. You don't want to look at the scoreboard. You know the game isn't critical. But we got to finish strong. We just got to finish strong because you're trying to set a tone. Season starts pretty soon. It's literally right around the corner. And you don't want to be starting the season behind. So I'm going to need to see some of these 4.5 minutes because you look at the Breakers lineup, you got your imports on the floor. That's basically a starting 5.
Yeah, well, again, no Will McDowell-White. It's going to be big for this team, but you're right. Pardon Brantley, Barry Brown Jr. You need those guys to come up much bigger than what they've produced tonight. The Breakers going to have a competitive season. Deflected off Matt Johns. Matt Johns had his college ball at South Dakota and Concordia. Pretty sure that's where Cam Glidden did his thing in the States, and then Geelong in the NBL 1 South last season. And Bullets picking him up as a DP, a little extra insurance and depth in the front court.
I'm sure Matt don't miss those South Dakota winters neither. He'll trade that for the sunshine of Brisbane.
Barry Brown Jr. from long range. He's up to 9. It's 3 of 12 now from the field. The margin's back to 14. That's a third steal on the night for Rupert. Attacking in transition, the floater, the touch, can't quite finish.
Early impression of Barry Brown Jr., Liam, I'm going to say in transition, extremely good. He seems to be an opportunistic scorer. Like, he's not going to take a whole bunch of... Now, again, we only got literally one game to go off of. So, you know, all these comments, I have an asterisk next to him. Because we obviously don't have that much to go off of. But he seems to be, I don't want to say reluctant, just opportunistic. But I think he might need to be a little bit more aggressive. And maybe that can change once Will McDowell-White, you know, comes into the group, which would probably free him up a lot more. But just in his first game, what do you think? Well,
he's been talking about the fact that his bread is buttered at the defensive end. He knows that he can come in and guard. And that Mody Mayor should have the confidence to put him on primary offensive targets for opponents on a weekly basis, and he'll get some work done. And he has said, look, the offense is a work in progress. So I'm not surprised to see you. I mean, you describe it as opportunistic. It's there. It's continuing to develop, but they're going to need it from him. They're going to need him to be, you know, a 12, 13 point a game scorer for this squad.
I agree. Totally agree.
Over the course of the season, 5th foul there for Rayan Rupert, and he checks out at the end of what's been a really impressive showing from the 18-year-old French next star. 12 points, 4 of 8 from the field. He's knocked down a couple of triples and 3 steals alongside his name.
He's a boy playing in a man's league and very impressive. I mean, imagine if he was playing in the under-20 national championships. He would distort the competition. This guy is out here playing with grown men, and he is not struggling at all, and he's only going to get better.
It's the 2 of 2 from 3 that was most impressive for me. We know the defense, the steals, all those things are going to be there. The ability to step in and shoot that thing with confidence, knock it down, that's going to open everything up for him over the course of the season.
Michael Aylen looking in good shape. While guys are walking past trying to give him pointers on how to referee, he ain't trying to hear none of it.
Two for 2 from Frolic, takes his tally to 9 and extends the margin to 16. 3 minutes and change left in this one. Fun clash coming up later tonight, of course. Melbourne and Illawarra. As Jarrell Brantley knocks in the triple, and those 3 imports, Corey, just giving a little bit of offensive production for you. Sorry, Corey, I said Corey. Damon, just calling with Corey last night. Giving a little offensive production for you late.
Yeah, and that's probably why Mody's got him still on the floor, just to try to play yourself into a little bit of rhythm, because the game looks like it's over. But these guys need some confidence because, like I said, they're not going to go that far if the imports are not producing.
Statman can't finish at the rim, and the shot clock expires in the background.
Even though Cody did his 4 years, did he do all 4 at Virginia? He didn't play a whole lot.
No.
So you get a kid back from school, and obviously he got coached by one of the best and got to, like I say, soak up all that experience and atmosphere. But you're still an untested rookie. Like, it's not like you came, even if you played at a smaller school and you got to play a lot more, you're coming back, you don't have a lot of reps. So even though he's a credentialed junior during his days here, I'm still not expecting a lot of great things out of him, only because, like I say, I don't think he's played that much basketball, not enough. So his minutes could be limited this season, but if he just sticks with it, he's clearly is a shooter. He's got the size, like I said earlier, but he's going to have to cut his teeth in training, and he's going to have to bide his time.
Couple of freebies from Liafa. Cuts the margin to 11. And breakers do down the stretch of this one. It's been all Brisbane, really, ever since the start of that second quarter. Travel called there on Froling, and the breakers playing this one out.
Yep, and Brisbane, again, have their bench on. So not as efficient, and like I said, this ain't being disrespectful to the bench, but when you got 5 bench guys on at the same time, sometimes the standard drops off a little bit, and New Zealand's taking advantage of it.
Here's Vodanovic. Can't add to his tally. Had a good night, had a good start to the game. Tom Vodanovic, he's got 15, is the leading scorer for the Breakers on the evening. Matt Johns squares up, drives it on the right, can't finish, and here come the Breakers. Brantley putting the moves on Statman, pulls up, bit of a lollipop pass to Vodanovic, and 14 on the shot clock for the Breakers.
You can tell that Brantley can handle the ball and he can put it on the floor and get to, make some plays. It's going to be a matter of how does that fit into the structure they're running. That's the thing. We don't know what they're running right now. We might not see a whole lot of it once the season starts because, guys, I know teams are keeping stuff up their sleeve. They're not going to show everything, but you still want to be able to incorporate a guy's strengths. So right now I'm looking at Brantley as a bit of a ball handler, can create, but I want to see what spots on the floor is that going to be happening from.
Here's Bach. Defensive intensity's high for the Breakers right now. Bach off the glass, no good. Final minute of this one. Breakers just trying to cut this thing into single digits. And a tough night at the office. What can they make of these final few possessions? Rob Lowe to the rim, off the Liafa dime.
Play it out. Every second counts. Coach is watching.
Froling spins, finds Matt Johns in the corner, and he steps up and knocks that one down with confidence. That's 5 points on the evening for Johns. Margin back out to 12 as we wind down towards the end of this first leg. Vodanovic gets away with the travel. Cam Glidden, step back triples and air ball, and last touch by Luwal Ding. One last chance for the Breakers here as the Brisbane bench enjoy proceedings, and look at Bainesy.
Look at this dude. He could easily, if his character wasn't like it is, Liam, he could be cruising, not taking this serious,
Laughing and joking.
just having, but he is engaged from start to finish.
No let up from the Bullets. One last stop to finish it off, and that's going to do it. Inbound from Froling. Buck allows the final buzzer to sound, and Brisbane take the victory. It's Brisbane 81, New Zealand 69.
A lot to be proud of in that Brisbane hit out, James Duncan. A lot to be proud of. It's early days, but they are showing signs of sustainable winning basketball, Liam.
Those two guys were the story. Aaron Baines and Tyler Johnson, the headline signings from the Bullets over the course of the off-season, and that man in particular, Aaron Baines, his long-awaited return to competitive basketball, and he wants the ball. Does he want the ball? He wants to shake the hands of the 3 officials and just letting him know, appreciate you not fouling me out.
This is some thorough work by the big fella, the big adjudicator.
Well, he's happy with how things played out. 14-6 for the big banger in a tick under 14 minutes. And a really solid victory for the Bullets to open their NBL Blitz campaign.
Sam McKinnon, hats off to you, man. Hats off to you. I mean, Bainesy could have went anywhere. I'm sure he had offers to go anywhere. He says, "Now I'm going to come right here." And obviously money isn't that big of a factor. I'm sure he'll take it, but he don't need it. He is there for one reason only, get himself back in NBA shape, stay on the NBA radar, and he wants to bring a chip. He wants a chip right now. Whether that happens or not remains to be seen, but Liam, I'm telling you, everything is positive with this guy.
So good to see. And the big banger, and it was right from the opening tip. Here's some of the second half highlights. Mody Mayor was so frustrated with some of the defensive transition from his squad. But again, the ball movement from the unselfishness from Brisbane was nice. Rayan Repair, a real bright spot for the Breakers, Damon.
Absolutely. This guy, like we said, we're looking at the first round pick here. And his skill set, I'm just not used to seeing 18-year-olds, Liam, play with this kind of poise. I mean, I don't know what's going on in France, but they are producing some guys that can play with grown men. So I don't know what he's doing in the offseason, his skill work, whoever he's working out with. But as Mody said, he is a gym junkie, gym rat, loves it, loves everything about basketball. And kids like that, with that kind of work ethic, only good things going to happen.
Certainly gives the Breakers fans something to feel good about. 12 points from Repair. The others in double digits for the Breakers were Jarrell Brantley with 10, Rob Lowe with 10, and Tom Vodanovic, the team leading scorer, with 15 points and 5 boards. And for the Bullets, well, it was Aaron Baines and Tyler Johnson, 14 apiece, combined for 28 in limited minutes, both playing under 20 minutes. And DJ Mitchell had 12, but a real spread of scorers, a whole bunch of guys with 5 or more points, 81 on the board. And after trailing by 10 at quarter time, they go on to take this one 81-69. And that's going to do us for the opening leg of your Sunday evening doubleheader. Again, up next, Melbourne versus Illawarra. That'll tip off at 8 o'clock Eastern Standard Time. So on behalf of Damon, myself, and the whole hardworking crew out the back, good evening, and we'll see you soon.